Let me show you the ETH short that we had put on, just to show you how we made money on this short. Look at this. Okay. So on ETH, let's take a look at what ETH is doing on the daily. Okay. So ETH has this false breakdown out of this cycle's range. Okay. So this cycle, ETH created this large range between $1,700, $1,750, and $4,100. Okay. From this cycle. So how do we play this inside the Discord? Here's the downtrend that we've been respecting on ETH this entire time. Do a false breakdown. We come back up into here and we pop up and we reclaim this range. Okay. And then we move sideways to break the downtrend. Okay. As soon as we broke the downtrend, I opened up an ETH long down in here at about 1750. Okay. We got the receipts inside the Discord. I sent in the timestamps. As soon as we break this downtrend, I got long ETH. So I literally opened a long. Okay. So we didn't catch the Pico low, but as soon as we were to flip bullish, we flipped bullish and we caught the long. And what happens? Bang, we get this move straight up. So we printed on that long. We still have the long open. Okay. We're going to ride that bitch out to the end of the cycle. And then we come up into here. So we had this move up here. Boom, come back down. And then we had this false breakout. On this false breakout, we knew that the daily RSI on Ethereum that we talked about last stream, the daily RSI that we talked about last stream was overbought. See? So we're very overbought. So I figured, okay, this is going to be a local top. We're going to get some type of pullback on ETH. So I put it in the Discord. I said, all right, let's go ahead and open up an ETH short. And this is how we set it up. I opened it up on the 14th, which was right up in here. Once again, I have the receipts in the Discord, so go ahead and join up if you want to see that. Short. So we opened it from right here. And we had our target set like that. The, what's it called? Stop loss is right there. At about 2,700. Yep. Okay. And what happened? We cracked it. Okay. I had it set for this demand zone. Look what happened. As soon as we wicked down right here, where did we come into? Who could have foreseen this? This fucking demand I've had drawn out on the stream. Okay. So we printed on this short, and as soon as this wick happened down into this demand, it closed our short, right? Right there is where I had it set. Okay, because I knew this would be the demand zone. And look at how perfectly this tagged and bounced. Got the short. Guess where we fucking longed again. So we added to our long and opened a new one. Longed right here. Now we're up on the long. Okay. Why do I do that? What's the idea behind that? I'm not looking to day trade, but it was a pretty obvious move. Okay. So what would be the idea of hitting that short? Well, because it was a pretty decent sized short. So it was worth a lot of money. Okay. And well, let's see, what's Martina? Beautiful. Yeah, I got you, brother. So why the short? I shorted with some size, okay? So whenever we closed a short, we had a nice chunk of change that we could now use to rotate back into our spot positions, back into our altcoins that we know are going to outperform on this next leg up. That's important because it allows you to get more size in your positions, also hedge for some downside if it comes, and without allocating a lot of capital to the short, right? So you put it on some leverage, get some leverage on that short, print a nice little bag onto the downside, and then as soon as you close that short, you get all that extra capital, and then you can rotate it right back into your assets that are down 20% off the highs, 25% off the highs. Beautiful strategy if you can do it effectively. I wouldn't encourage you to do that by yourself or just try it just because you want to try it. You probably get fucking smoked. But if you're trading with us and you're watching how we're maneuvering through the market, and you can hit those trades with us, there's going to be nice ways to print some more money to then go ahead and position. And then you see what happens. As soon as this wick happened, I also got filled for a long, an ETH long down in here, and now we're up on the long. Okay, so this very well could be the extent of the ETH pullback. Could it come lower? Yes, this would be the lowest I would expect it to come. And so I already had this drawn out. If this plays, so be it. That's just God giving you a fantastic entry in all of your altcoins and ETH beta. This would be miraculous. Not miraculous. It wouldn't be just... It would be. It actually would be. It would be miraculous if you get this entry. I don't believe there's any reason that this would come out lower than this. 2100, 2160 is about as low as you should be coming down on ETH. If you're coming down further than that on ETH, then we're concerned. Okay. So you could get a move like this. Boom. Because that's about 400 points. That's a decent move on ETH, right? That would be down another 10%, 12%. It's like, it's possible, right? Off the high. 20%. Yeah, it's possible. I just wouldn't expect it. I would not expect it. I believe that this is probably the extent. If you come back down into here, maybe at the very low, sweep these lows. Maybe, right? Back in 2200, sure, maybe. I really wouldn't expect it though. Okay. This looks like that this was the demand that it, whoops. This looks like it was the demand it wanted it to hold. And look at how perfectly it came back and tested this little consolidation region right here. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing on Ethereum.